My name is Matt Boots.
I'm Angel from Angel's Clubhouse.
And I'm Hov from Green Lounge LA. And this is The Struggle.
The West Coast. We don't got Vice Lords. We don't got GDs. I mean, much love to them dudes and shit. But I'm saying we affect so many people with how we got in. And I play a major part in that. So what I look like playing a bitch role and not educating or keeping it clean or representing in a positive way, I'm a blood, I'm a Damo.
Mm-hmm.
There's just no
Crack it back, because you look like you had a whole lot of fun, bruh.
Man, we went to went to Vegas for the Chris Brown concert.
Ooh.
My cousin is Chris Brown's bodyguard, so we had some French benefits.
Your cousin is what?
Chris Brown's bodyguard. Big dude.
There's also for certain people that have to turn the music off when their kids in the car. There are
Your mamas and daddies did it.
Yeah, they did.
So it's your turn.
But there was other music that they could play and didn't have to turn off, and it doesn't seem like we have.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that, but
Okay.
the ego part is what I'm stuck on. Like you're
we
right.
human. We human. It's come with
Okay.
it.
Now I'm gonna tell you why that's true. But that's why God said to walk in the spirit so you don't fulfill the lust of the flesh.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when we, as the people who know these things, have to.
What he said at the end of the day.
How much pressure did that put on y'all for real? Cause this LA.
I mean, not like that. It was easy. The real pressure was just, sometime waking up every day. Like, the music, it was, that was like therapy.
Green Lounge LA, Mad Boots Entertainment, and Angel Clubhouse Empire presents The Struggle. I'm Hov, and today we'll be speaking with Cleveland and Wayne, an actor and a writer, and today we'll be discussing their struggles of growing from their communities and being who they are today, reaching their goal tomorrow. How you doing, Cleveland and Wayne? Thanks for coming.
Good, how are you?
I'm all right, man. So you guys have chosen your path in life early. Gotta ask, how the hell you know that's your path in life?
You want to go first, or?
That's what she said.
I mean, you was already going.
That is what she said.
Well, obviously it's not really straightforward. Even now, I kind of second guess it. Sometimes I'm like, okay, this is something I really want to do, or because first of all, it's out of the ordinary for in our communities, whatever and whatnot. You say you want to be an actor, they're like, oh, you want to be this, you want to be that. Oh, didn't you say you want
And
to
what
be
community
this?
you go to? This is California. Everybody want to be an actor.
Yeah, but in Compton, typically around black people, I literally told, I was in church, they were like, oh, what do you want to be when you grow up? I said, I want to be an actor. She said, oh, no, you're going to be more than that. So I felt like it was supposed to be encouraging, but I was like, oh, wow. I'm assuming you mean that I have something more important to attend to.
That's what they meant. That's what she said.
Yeah.
Only you young niggas could have took that as disrespectful. God damn. Take a compliment much?
No.
I see. What the hell? Okay, so you took offense because she seen more in you than acting, but she was like, you should see the actor in me.
No,
Why so passionate about acting?
I didn't quite see it as offense. It was just, I guess it was just like the instinctual, like, oh, I didn't expect that reaction. But really it was, I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do on my way to high school. Mm-hmm. The most acting experience I've had, or like stage play I've had, was in said church. Even in school, I was just going through the motions, but I met a group of friends who were a bunch of actors, and I'm like, wow, those are all the weird kids. I was like the, silent, the silent kid that everybody likes to mess with every once in a while.
The weird kid.
Yeah, the other kind of weird kid. But the more I hung around, I'm like, wow, I don't have to be the silent weird kid. I could be the loud weird kid with them. So they kind of dragged me along, and
so you was converted from one weird community to the next.
Another weird.
Okay,
Yeah.
roger that.
And I just had a lot more fun doing that rather than sitting alone in isolation and trying to act like I was looking at my phone.
So you got out of depression.
Yes, essentially.
So, no, because what you described, right? A lot of times we talk here on The Struggle is like, people have a goal and a vision of themselves, and they want to get from A to B or A to Z, whichever point your map has. And they never talk about the emotional growth during that. And everybody thinks that success is monetary, right? But before you gained that money, you had to clean out a lot of trauma, misinformation, bad habits, bad thought patterns, right? And then you had to reinstall a new programming, right? And then even doing that is uncomfortable. So we talk about that a lot here. And what you described right now was like depression. You went from being not knowing where you fit in society, right? Yeah. And you thought, hey, I ain't the weird kid. I ain't you weird kid, so I ain't weird. Come to find out, yes, you are weird. Come to find out, it's nothing wrong with being weird. You're unique, which would probably be a better word. So when you got with these acting kids, did it free you a little bit?
It freed me a lot of it. It was strange because when I think like acting, I think like films, movies. We were doing theater, which is a lot more exaggerated.
Broadway-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay. Well, now we're back to You guys are very weird. But then I ended up doing like musicals and shit. I'm like, wait,
you deep dived into weird.
Like I just right on in. I didn't really get eased into it or anything.
Okay.
But I wasn't like singing or nothing. But I found apparently I was a good dancer, so I picked up on the moves like really quickly. Even like the instructor, she barely knew me. She would like drag me to the side, like encourage me, like, hey, you need to keep doing what you're doing. I've never seen anybody like do this like this.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, you know what? Maybe I do like it here. And so, unfortunately, I couldn't really do as much as I wanted to, or as much as I felt like would have gotten me really comfortable, because that was during like 10th grade, and then the whole lockdown happened.
Right.
So I didn't really get to do anything till like 12th grade. And we did Lion King in Chicago.
Oh. And how was that experience?
That was actually... Okay, so the rehearsals were fun. Chicago was fine, except for the last night. Lion King, the actual performance was iffy. We all had fun, but like the mics were cutting in and out. People were forgetting lines. Our stage was...
outside in the parking lot, falling apart during the entire performance.
That literally we had.
What time of year?
This was
winter.
Yeah.
Y'all was outside in the winter trying to find Simba, Timon, and Pumbaa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Pumbaa forgot his lines. A whimper wet, a whimper wet.
Yep.
Bruh, nah. Well, welcome to Hollywood. The show must goes on. So y'all learned that day, right?
And it sure did. They were
and you was there too?
Yeah. Literally, they had to come tell us mid-show, hey, don't walk on this part of the stage.
No,
I'm like, well, we have a whole dance number coming up, so...
We're in the finale, and we all have to spin around it's a whole big number, and everyone's just like, don't dance in the center, don't dance in the center. We're just making a circle.
Why? Because it was black ice?
It was like, if we step too hard, the stage is going to collapse. We only had to do it for a night, so...
Who promoted this show? Janky Promoters?
The high school. So...
Wow, that's... Okay, so great, wonderful. So while he's figuring out he's being an actor, what got you to the writing? Or is you just a friend, like, you know what? Try this weird shit too?
Well, I was kind of already in weird shit.
Oh.
Like...
Okay.
I mean, I stepped into the writing at first. No, that's a lie. Initially, I just wanted to work backstage, but the theater teacher quite literally grabbed me and pushed me onto the dance floor, and I was like, oh, okay. So then I was there for 6 years, and I was an experience. But throughout that, I kind of realized I don't really want to act professionally. Like, acting is fun, but I don't think I want to do it for a job. But also while doing that, I started.
What kind of job you want? Construction?
Well, more writing. Directing.
Oh, I was just confused for a second. I'm like, that's a hell of a job to have. Like, I don't want a good job. I just,
I know, it's like, it is a good job to have, but it's also like a really competitive business. I mean, of course, writing is competitive as well, but I just know, at least for me, I feel like I'm more reliable on my writing than I am for my acting. Because it's like, especially in the industry, I know it's depending on who you work with, it can be oh, well, you're a really good actor and I love you, you're great, but you're like 2 inches too tall, so we actually cannot have you in this role. And it's like, oh, okay. So that always made me uncomfortable, just the idea of that. But then I was like, well, if I write something, I can just rewrite it if it doesn't fit what needs to happen. So I found that a little more comfortable. Also, I've just been writing since I was like a child. So, I mean, of course, I was writing nonsense at that point, but like...
So you was, as a kid, you was born into this weird shit. You was writing baby Bibles and kids cookbooks as a child. I mean, explain to us. You say you've been writing since a kid. Explain to me what the hell was you writing about?
Literal nonsense. I literally had... I don't even remember what it was. It was like talking animals or some shit, and I would just like write it down on the pages and then staple them into a book, and I'd be reading my own stuff in class, and everyone's like, oh, so that's just a picture of a lion with an eye patch. So what does this mean? I'm like, I don't know. I don't think it means anything, actually. It's just kind of fun to do. And they got more fine-tuned as I went on. I mean, you said those were the weird kids, but that was the weird shit.
Yeah, definitely. Did y'all feel the weird meter go all the way up? I did. I was like, whoa, this is way too much weird. But no, quick question. So now that you guys are choosing your paths, because right, do you really think this is your path, or this is another step in your process?
It's something I want to pursue for sure, but it's not.
Why?
I want to pursue it because I want a job I can actually enjoy, a career I can actually enjoy and be proud of.
With all the people getting Harvey Weinstein and P. Diddy, how much are you going to enjoy this?
Ooh. I don't think I'm going to want it that bad.
You don't want to go get a cheesecake?
No.
Well, that's what Diddy asking people to do, go get cheesecakes. Oh, what was that show? He did that? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But what's the end goal? Because, like, you say you want to act. Why? What is so great about acting for you that you, like, must do it? It must be done. Like,
I just always enjoy telling the story. I don't write as much as he does, but I write when it's important. So, like, if you give me, like, an essay or if I want to write something important, I've been told by a lot of my teachers that I always have something to say. So when I just put those words to paper and then I get that encouragement, I read it over and I'm like, oh, wow, that is actually really nice. So I look at it and then I look at his work because I like to also pass on that encouragement. And I'm like, I would love to act this out. I would love to tell that story. I would love to give people that message that you're trying to put through the story.
what is the most important message as an actor that you want to put out?
Well, I could be like some corny shit of like always wanting to be yourself.
I think everybody says that shit.
I know.
That is so cliche at this point.
It could be. It definitely could be. But that's also like one of the main things you have to consider as an actor, because a lot of people, you know, a lot of times these days you hear a lot about representation, diversity, and a lot of like stuff nowadays want to push that further, and I want to help portray that narrative and let people know.
How so?
By not only, I want to play in those roles that help me. I grew up watching a lot of martial arts movies.
Who didn't?
Yeah. And I watched them. I watched a lot of like Kung Fu, you know, Jackie Chan, Jet Li, Bruce Lee.
Okay, Hitman.
Of course, man. Donnie Yen, all that.
Yeah, let's go.
I would watch it and I'd be like, oh, that's cool, that's fun. And like, but it didn't really like click with me until I saw stuff like Black Dynamite and Last Dragon. And I was like, holy shit, I could be doing that.
Did you jump in front of your mirror and be like, wow, wow?
All the time. I got a punching bag in my backyard. I got nunchucks, swords and shit. So like.
Do not jump his fence.
So that was also what kind of like jump-started the whole acting thing. So I want to be able to give other kids that same moment. Not even just kids, but other people. And whether or not it's just me as a person or the character I'm portraying, I want them to have that same feeling.
Okay, so it's a moment of freedom and a chance to inspire people that you're looking. That's what you really get out of this.
Yes.
So would you do it for free?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Okay. Now, You know I gotta ask you. That was all motivational. I think he took all the good answers, but let's see what you got.
Well,
take a breather.
Just to avoid being cliche, I don't think it's about just, being the best version of you. Let's take that off the record.
Ouch.
I think definitely being a creative is it really is like a gift, I would say, for a lot of people, because it's like not only but like writing stuff, but also like just being able to act and perform. It's just knowing people who are like, I could never manage to do that, and I'm like, well, I feel like you could, but I just don't think you want to. So having that drive, I remembered actually a big part of the reason I started writing. I was like, this would be really cool to watch. I was like, oh, I could just make that actually, and then do it. So being able to create something is like really, honestly, full transparency, it's like an unmatchable experience to me. Just even to like finish a script, I'm like, I'm probably never going to produce this, but just like actually finishing it, I'm like, okay, cool. So I just sat here, wrote like 60 pages. I feel good. Now I got to write my 2-page essay, and I really don't feel like doing that.
That's because you forced me doing that essay.
Yeah.
Nobody likes to have to write. I used to hate when they used to say, okay, we want a double line, 14 font. I'm like, man, look how I'm pressed 18 on this font, 22. So get pages. Put it all on the front. Nah.
My mom always yells at me about the essay. She's like, I watched you write a 200-page script, and you kids waited last minute to write a 2-page paper. I'm like, well, yeah, but I wrote a script on like a story. I don't want to write a paper on the same 3 people I've been learning about since I was like 10.
That's no motivation. So you love the art of creating.
Yeah.
Now, how much you know about writing? Because they say that most shows, series and stuff like that tell stories, they're telling the same 9 stories.
Yeah.
There's all these great motherfuckers before you. How you gonna tell the story different? Because it's all about how you see the story, first of all, right? Everything is about perspective, right? Especially as a writer. So what perspective would you be introducing new to the wide variety of greats of personalities and perspectives that's already come? And please don't do another World War II movie, please.
Oh, Lord.
Okay, so, thank you. Thank you. Hollywood, no more World War II, please.
And no more remakes or reboots.
Or sequels.
Or live actions.
What's wrong with live actions and reboots?
Oh, well, there's like 12 of them.
Well, I mean, I would love to get a reboot of Martin.
Well, like a Bel Air like reboot, like a serious telling, or like
Yeah.
Maybe okay with the reboot.
What's wrong with another version of Training Day?
Oh no, I didn't say. Well, nobody could do it like Denzel.
Like do it from Denzel's day, not the white dude's day.
Holy shit. Okay.
Yeah, like.
Okay, I get what you mean.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's crazy shit that can be done when you're creating, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what piece would you say right now is an influential piece that's been produced, mainstream or whatever, that you think is influential to you right now and will be over time? Matrix?
Nah. You say influential?
Yes, influential, yes.
Okay.
I said influential, yes, I did. Just for the record. I do know 2-syllable words, thank you. I'm a reader, not a writer. No.
I don't know, actually. I think because of actually the thing I mentioned about like reboots and shit like that, I think a lot of the series I used to watch before, like while he was watching like martial arts movies and shit, I remember like the first movie I actually like remember retaining from a young age was Chucky, or not Chucky, Child's Play. And I was like, I'm probably too young to be watching this, but it's kind of
It was an awesome movie.
It's really funny.
Yes, it is, Chucky.
Like watching movies like that with because my dad's also really into like horror movies and stuff, so I was always watching like horror movies and like sci-fi and shit.
Can you fix the horror movie segment? Just, not to cut you off there, because you can always tell it's always the same scares. If you're really into horror movies, you're like, all right, he's behind the door. Like, he's in the cabinet.
Yeah, I get you.
Like, it kind of gets redundant. Matter of fact, I haven't watched a horror movie in over 10 years because of that reason. And then the soundtrack does give it away.
Yeah.
So, what would you change about horror, given that perspective?
I think we need to move away from the jump scare, honestly, because I feel like it's it's such a reliant thing. It's like watching the newest It that came out. It's like all jump scares, and it's like after the first few, you're like, oh my god, but then it's like, okay, he's gonna jump out of the thing, isn't he? But like, I feel like there's other ways to creep people out. Like I don't think it was, what was the Halloween before the bad one?
There's like a bunch of those.
It's a bunch of bad Halloween. They need to stop Halloween.
That's what we talk about with the remakes and sequels.
There was one scene in one of the remakes though where he was chasing one of the ladies like through the park and shit. It was no jump scare. It was silence, and she's like hiding behind a tree, and he's like standing on the bridge looking for her, and all you hear is him breathing. And I'm like, this is the scariest shit in the whole movie because it's like, it's no music or anything.
Because it reminds you walking in a hallway at dark.
Mm-hmm. It's like that times when you up at night, you're like,
yeah,
maybe I'm tripping.
The scariest things are the things that are familiar.
Mm-hmm.
What if they made a scary movie with like based on empty space? Have you seen like the Dark Rooms?
Mm-hmm.
What if they made a scary movie like that? Because actually looking at the Dark Rooms do fuck with you. Like, why is it so empty?
Like, there's nothing
the
in
fuck
there.
And then get the long, slender man come out of nowhere. Like, all right, nigga, hold up. Well, like, I think it is time for evolution. And, like,
Oh, yeah, for sure.
For sure, in a horror film. So, what ideas are you guys gonna be teaming up on these writings and introducing these new stuff? Because I would love to influence y'all to, technically make some new shit. I'm tired of watching.
Oh yeah, no, most definitely.
I think really the remakes that you guys are talking about probably is what killed TV.
Mm-hmm.
Later recently got apps and they're like, That's when you start watching YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I've literally not watched like actual like cable TV in like 2-3 years now. I've been like so on like YouTube exclusively. It's like I don't even realize it until it's like I see something come up. It's like,
Do you even own a Roku TV?
I do, yeah. But
And you still watch YouTube on
I
it?
still watch YouTube, yes.
What about Netflix?
I mean, I'll try to look at it every now and then. I mean, like, Netflix does a lot of adaptations of, like, right now there's a video game I played, Castlevania. They're doing an anime for that, so.
That's dope.
Yeah, I'd be watching that even then, like.
But then you can go on YouTube and watch that though, too.
I could, but, like, not only that, it's just, like, I look at the anime compared to the game I played, and I'm like, this is not the same story.
Going by the story base.
No.
Yeah.
Which could be fine. Some things like diverge completely. Like Blade. The Blade we saw is not the Blade in the comics or the Blade originally in the comics.
Mm-hmm.
So it's fine to diverge sometimes, but the way they're diverging it is.
Man, you just fucked up Blade for me because now I gotta go read the comics. And I really like the Blade, bro. You tell me they gave me the watered down version of Blade, bro?
No. We got the good Blade. Is what
Okay,
I'm trying to tell you.
cool.
Yeah.
Because that was a bad mother. Yeah, that was a bad brother in that movie. What happened in the comics though? Was he a buster or something?
I could just show you his design, and that'll be it.
Also, the fun fact
off camera, please. I want to cry. I want to cry on camera. No.
Marvel has a habit of killing characters and then bringing them back, and Blade was one of like 3 people they killed at one time, and they just never brought him back. And they're like, oh, remember Blade? Oh yeah, he died. But isn't he like an immortal vet? He died. He's dead. He's gone. It's like, oh okay. So
Blade is immortal?
He's a vampire.
Yeah.
They die with stakes in their heart.
Yeah.
That's not immortal.
Well, longevity wise, immortal.
Like they can live forever, but they're not unharmable. Immortal.
Immortal means you can't be fucked with, bro. Like, ha, you shot me. I'm still here, bitch.
Yeah.
Like, that's immortal. I mean, he's more like, he has longevity, I guess you can say.
Yeah.
Okay. Just have to be clear on that, writer. Yeah, we got to up your vocabulary, bro. Okay, so what are you guys working on yourselves? Because you guys seem sneaky, like you hiding a project. Are you guys hiding any future projects that we should know about?
That's all him.
Damn, you snitch. Do not commit no crimes with this dude.
Immediately.
Do not go to the Hit Diddy party.
Well, no, it's just the fact. It's the simple fact that you have a tendency to stay quiet in these situations. So I had to turn the attention to you.
Well,
oh, so you're the catalyst.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Therefore, okay. So let's catalyze. All right. So, what's going on in the twisted head of a guy who's tired of remakes, man?
Well, a lot. But I think actually you brought up like ways to reinvent horror, and then you brought up longevity, I guess. I feel like immortality is something that could be like really useful in a horror movie because it's not like
Jeepers Creepers, scary ass.
Yeah, it's like
that was the best horror movie in the last couple. Like that's the last one.
Mm-hmm.
His ass. You killed him, but he's still coming back in 20 years. That's scary. All right? I'm scared right now. And you can shoot him, and it don't work. Some bullshit.
Right. 'Cause that's the first thing we gonna do if we see something like that.
Get a stake and put it on a crossbow and see if that works, because the bullets don't. But
Do black people got crossbows?
man, I got white friends. I'm half, bro.
He said, I don't know if you got
Shit.
Yeah, shit.
I can hook you up with some. They good for your credit score, I promise. So, back to you. What you hiding, bro? He snitched.
I have actually been working on a horror project. I don't want to say recently, relatively recently.
It's called like insects.
No. Are bugs still scary to people?
Hell yes.
Have you seen the human centipede?
Oh,
Exactly.
Like I'm all for
Like we have to
movies.
reinvent her. What, we gonna keep making a scary guy with a knife? There's too many drill rappers for that to be scary anymore.
My gosh.
Someone breaking in your house, like you can't make another Jason. You can't make another Michael Myers. Who's scared of that now with all these Dracos? I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So maybe like giant spiders.
There was one horror movie that was a slasher came out. I think it's called Hush or something like that. It was just like a basic slasher movie, but they changed it with the main character was deaf. So most of the movie you can't really hear anything, but you see him like in her house, like trying to track her down, and she's completely there's like no music. It's really good, but it's like it is just like it's a
Almost on some Final Destination, but it was deaf personified instead.
Like no, she couldn't hear anything at all.
So it was a dude trying to break into her house, but she can't hear him.
Yeah. So there's like a lot of scenes where she's just like on her phone and you see him like in the background, but there's just no noise at all.
See, that's scary because it's suspense. You feel me?
Yeah.
Because all of y'all think that's happening to y'all. Like, you know what I mean? Like, hold on, let me turn my lights on in this bitch.
Yeah, and then not to mention, it also makes you, grateful that you can hear.
Mm-hmm. It's oh my god! I just reinventing horror in like personal situations.
So
like,
how you gonna do it?
Well, with some shit that everybody does, and how can you make them? I want something that after you see it, you leave the theater and like, damn, I gotta turn all my lights off when I go to bed tonight. Maybe I shouldn't sleep facing the wall. Maybe I should sleep.
Look on back.
Yeah.
Oh, so you trying to make people pee on themselves and cause kids to have nightmares?
Yeah, it's like niggas who.
Are you a good person anymore?
Well, assuming he was in the first place.
Assuming. Assumption's about to get me killed. Open the door.
Nah, one thing about his stories, I'll say, he doesn't like a good person. Our main character, we have a main character, we have a protagonist, we have no good people. We'll have somebody who's like, okay, you could say they're good, they're gonna die. But for the most part, everybody's gonna be like a gray area of some sort, or just not like completely evil, but evil to the point where you're gonna hate their guts. So that's not.
You gonna conflict everybody, so everybody's the bad guy.
Yeah, and then you just have to. It's not
So
like,
is that anti-heroism?
Essentially, yeah.
Essentially, so the movie's gonna be all anti-heroism.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. We get to see fucked up goodness.
Exactly.
That's dope. Okay, so yeah, let's go. All right, guys. I'm gonna have to drop it on that note. I would ask more shit, but then they'd just be snitching again. So, ladies and gentlemen, check them out. Coming soon, because they definitely will be back. Where you guys on Insta?
Trey Fairman.
Y'all heard him, and I don't have Insta. He said he was weird. He said he was weird. We'll be back right after these commercials, but love you. Peace.